All right, let's go to Vancouver. We're getting an update on a stabbing that happened at a festival, the Light Up Festival in the city's Chinatown on Sunday. 3 people were hospitalized. Let's listen in.
Currently. Also this morning, I was woken up at about 4:50 in the morning. We had a car accident at Burrard and Broadway where 2 police officers were taken to Vancouver General Hospital. Both of those officers, one has been released, the other one may still be in hospital, but probably be released shortly. And those officers will be okay, but it was a very serious car accident. The party in the other car was not taken to hospital. As far as the incident that I want to talk to you about primarily today is the tragedy that we had yesterday at the Light Up Chinatown Festival in Vancouver. So yesterday evening, as hundreds of people were gathered to celebrate community, culture, and everything that makes Vancouver's Chinatown such a wonderful place, the actions of a single person has shocked people with this apparent random act of violence. At Light Up Chinatown, a festival created to help revitalize and preserve one of our city's oldest and most cherished neighborhoods, a place that has already shown incredible and has always shown incredible resiliency to overcome significant challenges. 3 people were stabbed and injured by a complete stranger. It was a senseless crime at this point in the investigation. It defies any logical explanation, although I'll talk a little bit more about how the investigation is proceeding. The man who committed this crime immediately left the area after the attack, but Vancouver police officers who were in the area responded immediately and arrested the suspect a few blocks away in the downtown east side. That suspect is now in custody as we work to gather evidence that will bring this person to justice and help explain why this senseless act of violence occurred. I'm joined here today, as I mentioned, by our Mayor, Ken Sim, to my left, who will follow me with a prepared statement before we take questions. We're also joined by a number of Vancouver City councillors, and I want to thank the councillors for your support and your ongoing community concern, and thank you so much for being here today. Really appreciate your presence here with us. We're also joined by community leaders, as I mentioned. So I just want to mention a few. Carol Lee, who's representing the Vancouver Chinatown Foundation and is well-known community leader in our city. Jordan Ang, who's representing the Chinatown Business Improvement Association. Again, Jordan, thank you for being here. Fred Kwok, who's representing the Chinese Cultural Center, is here with us as well. Thank you for being here, Fred. Lorraine Lowe, who represents another community icon in Vancouver, which is the Dr. Sun Yat-sen Classical Chinese Garden. And also Tracy To from the Vancouver Chinatown Merchants Association. On behalf of the Vancouver Police Department, I just want to thank all of our community leaders for everything you do, because it really is a collaboration between police and community to keep the city safe. And you know, in our city, when we do have issues, social issues, crime issues, and the intersection between those two, it is police and community working together on solutions to make Vancouver a safe place. It's not something that the police can do on their own, and we don't. We're very fortunate to have strong community partnerships. So we're doing everything we can right now to try and explain this senseless act and what motivated yesterday's horrendous attack. And of course, the motivation will be an important part of our ongoing efforts here. But in community, knowing our history and the value that build our communities are essential to guiding us into the future. You know, and I would say that there's few places in Canada that have such a rich history as our own Vancouver Chinatown. It was built by just a handful of people in the 1800s, and recently I was down there, and now I understand that even we're tracing the history back to the 1700s of people first coming to Vancouver, but certainly in the early 1800s, the first 1700s, early 1800s, the first Chinese settlers in our city, and that community has grown over the past century plus, 2 centuries really, to become one of the largest and most prosperous.
All right, so we're following
Chinese
this from Vancouver, getting an update here on what's happening after a festival stabbing that happened in Vancouver at the Light Up Festival in the city's historic Chinatown area. We know that 3 people were injured. Fortunately, the injuries were not life-threatening, but obviously very disturbing. Police telling us there this appears to be simply a random attack, randomized violence. One man, a 60-year-old man, was apprehended not far from the scene, and those 3 people were hospitalized, but again, not considered to be life-threatening injuries. All right, we're going to keep our eye on what's happening in Vancouver.